No, Hillary, please. Will you get her to visit me in the tent?
Why don't you spend a week in them?
This is a peaceful demonstration.
Great program.
And this is something that's been
135 degrees last week in the tent.
Invite. Don't abuse it.
I publicize it. I always publicize everything. 135 degrees? You guys worry about 88 degrees. But they're all convicted, doing their time. And you know how I shut everybody up? Very simple. Our men and women fighting for our country, living in tents, and you're complaining about these convicted inmates living in tents. And they all shut up. They can't answer that. But what? Walk them there? I'm going to walk them to the tent. Tell them to use the bus they came here with. So there's a lot of things you can do as the elected sheriff for our country. And it is the greatest country in the world. I don't care about, you know, I was in the hills of Turkey with my other career, Mexico. I can go on. Every time I came home, I kissed the earth. United States. So don't get too, you got to fight for what's right, but still remember this is the greatest country in the world, and people internally and externally want to destroy this country, and we have to be on alert and not ever allow that to happen. So I'm very comfortable. I'm comfortable because I know the people, the good people of this country, they're going to fight and we're going to survive. So don't fight hard, but don't think that things won't straighten out. It will straighten out. Always does. As I say, there's psychos going. There's always a psycho. And that's it. Anybody have any questions? I got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Every minute counts in my life. Anybody want to hit me with a question?
What do you think about the CIA bringing in drugs and the ATF arming the cartels in Mexico with the Fast and Furious program? And then the
that one question. Lump it all together. But you got some good points that I won't discuss about the drug traffic. So, yeah.
The CIA bringing it in?
Oh, really? Okay, we're back to pink underwear. He has a question, how it goes to kids. Every penny that is raised goes to the kids. Those kids for the sports, I can go on and on. That's what happened. I spent a lot of time signing the underwear because people get a little more money. It doesn't go to me as a 501c, but I do that to help too, because kids need help too. Keep them out of jail and that type of thing. So that answer your question? Yeah. So anyway, I know you got other things to do.
What about your stop? What about your stopping of all Hispanic people in your county? What about your policy of stopping all Hispanic people in your county?
Stop Hispanic people?
Stopping all Hispanic people. Seems they got ID.
No, I'm an equal opportunity guy. I stop everybody. It has nothing to do with what race they are. So don't go listen to this racist and everything else they put out in the media.
You should file a lawsuit against the CIA for bringing in drugs.
Well, I'm not going to go that way, but that's another problem. Yes. Did you hear that?
The real masters.
The what?
Really, the reality.
No, we have a youth assistance foundation made up of a lot of different kids that need help, sports, and we have an Explorer program, a lot of things. Also, I'm very tough on animals. I arrest anybody that messes with an animal and throw them in jail. But that's the money that we raise to go to help the kids. We call it the youth assistance. No, we have a way to go to the foundation. We'll talk here.
Joe, one more.
What?
Thank you, Joe. We're still selling tickets for another 20 minutes over here, so if you want any of these door prizes, you want to get in on that, they're still for sale. The next speaker we have is Morrow County Sheriff Ken Matlack. Ken.
Thank you and good afternoon. Because it's so close to July 4th, I wanted to give you some comments on this sheriff's perspective on concealed handgun licenses and a few other, I guess, patriotic issues that I wanted to remind us about. April 1775, thank you. The British were marching on Lexington and Concord, Massachusetts. What were they marching there for on that particular day? They were after the control of the people, the rebels. They really weren't called Americans then, they were called British citizens. And what were they after? They were after their powder, extra rifles, ball ammunition, for the purposes of preventing the British rule that was coming down their neck. These were not makeshift army. They weren't militiamen. They were trained soldiers, the best that England had at the time, the strongest country in the world, coming to America to deal with rebels. On that particular day, they had 700 in their group. They met 75 in Lexington, on the Lexington Green. Shooting occurred. Nobody knows who shot first. Several were killed on the American side, one only wounded on the English side. They made it
They got a
all the way to
security here with an
Concord.
assault rifle.
They destroyed 3 cannon and then found that the Americans had removed all the weapons, so they were unsuccessful. And in Concord, where's what they call the shot that was heard around the world, 2,000 militiamen, the first of the whole war, turned out. There were many English that were killed, and a few Americans. That was really the first time that we won anything in that particular situation. In the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the next year, 1776, were these words: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. What exactly does that mean to us? First of all, I can tell you, none of them are rights that the government gives us. None. Zero. Those are called natural laws. They can't be taken away from us, and they can't be transferred. The government cannot do anything with that. And they were very quick to point that out in our Declaration of Independence. 1789, that's barely 12 years later. Now the Founding Fathers are drafting another measure, the Constitution. They needed 9 of 13 states to have it ratified, and they weren't getting it. It wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen until the states said, we want guarantees that you are not, the new government, our own government, is not going to be like England. We don't want abuses. We don't want overreach. Does that sound familiar? They didn't want that, and they would not sign, they would not ratify until they were guaranteed. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. Now those have been in effect now for 239 years, and I believe they are really the things that have made us free for those 239 years. Because the Constitution Declaration, while they're old, they're as relevant today as they were then. They're not documents that we change lightly. Another point that I wanted to just tell you kind of where this sheriff comes from is on the Second Amendment and Oregon CHL license process. For those of you that don't already have one, and I would encourage you to get one, a CHL license, unless you move to Arizona, then it won't cost you anything because it's free there. 21 can't be a felon, no misdemeanor crimes, no domestic violence, no stalking, and no mental disease and defect. Can't have that. You must be a resident of the county. If not a resident, you must own property. If you don't own property, you must have a business interest in the county. Or the last thing, which no one ever uses, is called other demonstrated need. What's another demonstrated need a person might need a concealed handgun license for? To protect yourself, your family, and other people. I believe in that concept. I give license for that concept. And I definitely don't want it to go away. Here's how we can make it better. I also believe that Oregon, we don't recognize other states' CHLs in Oregon. None. No in Oregon, none in Washington, Nevada, California, any of our contiguous states, none. They won't honor them. We need to have reciprocity agreements with all these states. Or better yet, right now in DC, there are a couple different bills going through that basically says there's a national reciprocity so that every state can recognize each other state and county's licenses. And I certainly support that. And I'll close you today with what the sheriff is. God bless sheriffs. Sheriffs are the people's representative. Here's what the Oregon statute says. The sheriff is the chief law enforcement officer